What up, True Crime fam? Yo, we got a good one. We got a request to do.
Yep.
When the cannibal vlogs his murder. By Ewu, man. Crime story time. Y'all already know what it is.
A cannibal?
Yeah. He vlogs it. Crazy type, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Drop them comments below, man. Throw a like on the video if you're here, man. We love y'all. Let's get into this video, yeah.
Get y'all snacks.
Get your throw mine
Get y'all dinner. And check back and
already know it.
watch this crazy video. Because I'm
Whatever.
pretty sure it is.
You're gonna need probably a little sip of something, wine or something after this one, bro. Let's get it, y'all.
Oh, let me turn it up.
Always the mission is first. Oh, that's the skulls are getting cracked.
Though no one knew it at the time, Alexander Kujoe was about to do something unthinkable. His self-recorded videos give us a chilling glimpse into his twisted mind in the days before he committed a truly disturbing act.
Do you see a bag of charcoal? Go ahead and open it. That's only part of the day. I tasted something. It's tasting like put some barbecue sauce, some spice, full-baked spice.
So this what can happen to that. You keep doing that shit again, it's gonna keep happening. I'm gonna do this again.
Oh.
On the morning of May 25th, 2012, 37-year-old Kujoe Bonsafo Agye Kodye, an international student from Ghana, went out for a morning jog and never came home. Kujoe has spent the last 6 months living with the family of one of his friends, Dr. Anthony Kujoe, a physics lecturer at Morgan State University. And when Kujoe failed to return home that evening, the family grew concerned. That concern evolved into outright fear when the family discovered that Kujoe's wallet, ID, and phone were still in the basement. Even if Kujoe had decided to go out somewhere without telling the family, there was no chance he would have left these items behind. Feeling that something was wrong, the Kujoes called the police. They had no idea just how wrong things were. Although the police responded immediately to the report and sent detectives over to interview the Kujoe family and search the property, nothing of note was found, apart from a dead fox in a container behind the Kujoe's home. This curious finding will later prove integral in the most sickening way. Eventually, cadaver dogs are brought in to go over the wooded area behind the Kujoe's home, but they find nothing. The only thing of note uncovered is the fact that red pepper flakes have been sprinkled on the ground in the house, specifically in the basement. This is another detail that will prove crucial later. It seemed like the case was rapidly getting cold, but an unexpected discovery was about to change everything. 4 days after Kujoe's disappearance, Jared Kujoe, the youngest boy in the family, was down in the basement when he found something that made his blood run cold. After confronting his older brother Alex about it, Jared told the rest of the family what he'd found, and the police were once again quickly called to the scene. In an interview with detectives, Jared revealed the nightmare he found in the basement.
We're here today to talk about an incident that occurred last night. Why don't you go ahead, just in your own words, tell me what happened.
Last night, right before I took a shower, I was gonna go get my laundry bag. So I went down to the basement and I opened the laundry door and I saw my blanket on top of a box. And as I was lifting the blanket up, I saw two pans for baking, and in between them was a cutting board. So I lifted up the pans, and in it I saw 3 different objects, and they were kind of black with some gravy substance looking at them, and it looked like hands and a head. And as soon as I saw that, I really couldn't distinguish whether it was a face or somebody's face I knew or something. But I looked at it and I stopped myself. I stopped what I was doing. I went upstairs and I asked Alex, come down here. And I asked him, what is it? And he said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's none of your business and all that stuff. And he started avoiding my question.
Alongside interviewing Jared, detectives also spoke with Alex about this disturbing and suspicious discovery. As Alex has read his rights, the interview hits a slight snag.
Are you willing to talk to me after being advised of your rights? And that's again, a yes or a no question. Same thing as the one on top. Okay, and then your initials right there. And, oh, wait, gotta read that last one. What this one says is, have I threatened you or forced you in any way to make you talk to me?
Yes.
Have I really, or yes or no?
Yes. If I was.
Do you think I did threaten you? Because I'm not trying to threaten you. If you took it that way.
But I just take it as yes.
Well, tell me then how, because I don't want you to feel that way. So if you feel that way, I want to make sure you know that I'm not threatening you and I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that.
I'm in a confined room in a undisclosed location with behind a locked door with a CCTV TV.
The door's not locked?
No, detective. I'm threatened right now.
Okay, well, let me make you feel a little better then. The door is not locked, okay?
I feel threatened.
Well, I won't explain it to you, okay? We're not in an undisclosed location, we're in Forest Hill. It's about 20 minutes from where you live, okay? It's an industrial park. And the door's not locked, and I am not armed. I don't have a gun on me at all. You can see right there. And neither does that detective.
Though there are different policies, it's typically recommended that officers aren't armed in the interrogation room. It helps calm the person being interviewed and prevents them from saying they were threatened or they were scared because the officer was armed. As well, officers don't want to wear a gun in order to lower the chance that someone takes it from them.
Your mind's a weapon, though.
Well, I can't take my mind away. There's no guns in here. No one wants to threaten you. Okay, so you understand I'm not trying to threaten you?
Right.
Okay.
I'll sign it.
Okay.
Less than 10 minutes into the interview, and Alex is already handling this differently than most people in this situation would. But is this strange behavior an indication that he knows something about Kujoe's disappearance?
Can you tell me what happened? Right?
Yes, last week I collected a jackal or fox. It was like roadkill. And usually I trap animals. That's what sometimes I can catch, sometimes a jackal. But this morning I saw it's like a wild dog. I can give you a description. For a wild dog, that's not wild dog. It's like a coyote type. It's like they have fur on it. Maybe have like a less than an inch of it. But my cat was outside and I just happened to be upstairs looking outside and I seen a coyote. So I figured, you know what? I remember catching that fox that was roadkill. So I figured let me gut it up and try and catch it.
Alex continues to ramble about the wild dog for several minutes.
Ain't that's what like the kind of stuff like that's probably on top of like Jeffrey Dahmer was getting.
That's how they start.
Yeah, that's how they start off. Yeah,
Catching a roll kills. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Derailing the conversation and giving the officers a lot of seemingly useless information. But there's actually a sneaky reason he's done this.
You realize what your brother thought, though, right? Or thinks. He thinks that it's pieces of Kujoe is what he thought. Did you realize he thought that? Or you didn't realize I just said so?
He said that he saw it was something that was blocking him. Like he couldn't really describe it, and he said he wasn't sure. And he mentioned it to my father and mother.
Okay.
Nothing about no human skull.
Human what now?
Skull, like human parts or anything. Because he said there was a head, and I said there's a jackal head right there. The coyote forks, and the paws and the inside. I couldn't bring the intestines in because they're already eaten. So it's just parts of it. And besides, I wanted to skin it, try to make like a dream catcher.
Were they parts of Kujoe?
No. And the dogs that came out today, they were searching and everything. I'm sure they'll pick this up,
Alex is incredibly confident when he uses the cadaver dogs to assert his innocence. But why is he so sure the dogs won't pick up a scent in the basement? One obvious explanation actually has to do with the red pepper flakes that were found scattered throughout the floor of the basement. It's a commonly believed yet disproven myth that red pepper flakes can fool cadaver dogs into not smelling human remains. What they can do is potentially burn the dog's nose, but this would still not prevent them from indicating remains if there were any. However, as will later be uncovered, there is a far more sickening reason that the dogs didn't pick up on anything in the Kinua home. Still, it's entirely possible Alex believed the myth about red pepper, especially given some of his self-recorded videos.
Now the question is about planning the unthinkable, because now how are the new powers going to use nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons? Sooner or later, The countryside is going to be torn in battlefields. It already is in battlefields. It's slowly erupting.
Protect your life. Nobody is safe, no matter where you are. It could be even in your own room. It could be even in your own school. It could be in anywhere.
Well, why would your brother make it like human parts? Because he's been around animals. So you guys used to cut up animals back on the farm or something like that.
We've cut up goats not far from here, no.
And he seems to think that what he saw tonight were human parts as opposed to animal.
Well, I showed him the carcass that I actually had, so.
He's just confused, you think?
I don't say he's confused, he's very smart.
Alex quickly steals a glance at the detectives after saying this, potentially trying to measure their reaction to his self-contradictory response. With Alex adamantly sticking to his story about the cut-up animal parts, detectives decide to switch gears.
You know what Kujoe did?
After he mentioned his case, because I remember several years ago, he had a charge, I think it was something on know the details specific. That's the only details I know of this case, and he never spoke about it even when he went to immigration.
Alex's rambling can also be seen many times throughout his strange and disturbing vlogs.
Sun in the sky. The sun is very powerful energy, the solar flares it can deliver to this planet itself. It knock out every electronics, every mechanical, electromechanical apparatuses around the world, even in the sky itself. Airplanes will not fly. Cell phone towers knocked out.
In an attempt to deal with Alex's knack for rambling, the detectives decide to be direct with him.
Yes, did you kill Kujoe?
Straight up.
No.
Did you cut him up?
No.
Because you're interested to see what, you said you dissect these things dirty, but did you?
I've seen morticians do that.
Right. I mean,
Not in
because
person.
you have curiosity to do it yourself?
No. My curiosity does not extend that far. I've been exposed to body parts at an early age. I've seen people's brains blown out. I've seen people dead and everything. Where
is that?
you know about shockumentaries?
Oh. On TV, you're saying?
Shockumentaries.
On TV? I don't know what you mean. Documentaries is a TV program?
Shockumentary, yeah. Some of them are on the internet.
Sensing that they're not going to get anything useful from Alex, detectives end the interview and conduct a search of the Kinua home, completely unaware of the horror they were about to walk into. In the basement, officers retrieved the charred aluminum roasting pans that had allegedly had human remains in them. Not far from the pans were what appeared to be clippings of short, dark hair that had been wrapped in a paper towel and thrown in a wastebasket. In the laundry room, they find a roasting bag that could usually be used for poultry, scarred by the same charred residue seen on the pan, and treated with an oily cleaner. In the room, they also found a camo t-shirt with what appeared to be bloodstains down the front. But this is only the beginning of the disturbing discoveries.
More.
Alex's bedroom is locked with a deadbolt and marked with a wooden sign reading, "Either some greater force of terror than death must be devised, or death will not be enough for coercion."
Observe the sunlight, the shadows. The shadow. Call me Shadow Man.
In Alex's bedroom, officers find the shockumentaries he mentioned, as well as multiple leather whips, a large hunting knife, and 2 machetes. These discoveries are overshadowed by what the officers find next. On the underside of Alex's mattress is a massive bloodstain, one so large that officers immediately theorize that whoever the blood belongs to is almost certainly dead.
Hell yeah.
While they weren't able to find the body parts that Jared claimed to have seen, everything else the officers found in the basement points towards Alex being involved in Kujoe's death. Eager to find out the truth behind this mystifying case, detectives sat back down with Alex for another interview. His explanation for the blood is shocking, to say the least.
What is it?
You and Chris, again, we're not here to get a confession from you or anything like that. One of the things that I asked you was I want to know, you, right? Because, let me explain why. There is psychology to that, no one's like why. Because, let's say that someone robs a bank, and I find out that this person has a wife that's dying of cancer. Is that the same as the guy that comes in wearing a mask and puts a gun to somebody's head because he wants to get party out with that money? Are they the same two people?
The crime is a crime.
Already, this detective appears to be taking a more strategic approach than the previous detectives, setting the stage for a conversation that will make Alex actually want to confess. One way he does this is by quickly introducing the idea that committing a crime does not make someone evil, and that certain people may commit crimes for reasons that are morally justified. The officer doesn't believe this, but is saying it to try to get Alex to admit to something. Unlike in his last interview, however, the detectives are ready for his rambling.
Do you know what forensic science is all about?
I don't believe what TV says too much about it. However, I'm aware that it's an art and it's for science.
Do you believe that deoxyribonucleic acid is an indicator to identify who an individual is?
You can claim because you have the X and Y chromosomes, and you can also identify, those see from it, you can extract it.
So you can tell the difference between the blood of a fox and the blood of a human being?
Yes.
What do you think the blood of your mattress should?
That's a blood from period.
What it got right there?
Yeah, I'm on this period.
What woman would that be?
Oh, she doesn't say anymore.
It's not about the blood that was in
The box. The box. That's a fox blood then.
What if I told you that it wasn't? What if I told you that that was human blood?
Oh, then I have to show you exactly what's it dried up with, especially.
There's a little bit of both.
Then either that it was fine because I didn't have the fox there when my father saw me there. He told me to take that up to the house. So he take it out because it was last month. So I took it out.
While searching Alex's room, police discovered a journal that contained extensive notes on how detectives and suspects commonly behave in interrogations. Some of his notes included, quote, "The capacity for resistance is diminished by disorientation. The end of an interrogation should be planned before questioning starts. The kinds of questions asked, the methods employed, and even the goals sought may be shaped by what will happen when the end is reached. The poorest interrogations are those that trail off into an inconclusive nothingness. The successful interrogation of a strongly resistant source ordinarily involves two key processes: the calculated regression of the interrogatee and the progression of an acceptable rationalization. If these two steps have been taken, it becomes very important to clinch the new tractability by means of conversion. In other words, a subject who has finally divulged the information sought, and who is given a reason for divulging which saves his self-esteem, his conscience, or both, will often be in a mood to take the final step of accepting the interrogator's values." His journal could explain in part why Alex keeps derailing the officer's questions.
So, what'd you say? Was Kujoe a violent person?
He had a tendency, I wouldn't necessarily say to be violent, but you can speak to every witness or even people here.
Well, you know I'm speaking to you because you knew him very well.
No, I did not. No, I did not. I knew of him. I did not know him well. He never shared with me personal information about his life up until he got incarcerated. After then, he started talking. He came out much more like something different.
In 2007, 5 years earlier, Kujoe was accused of assaulting a female graduate student at Morgan State University, the same school Alex currently attends, and trying to scare her into dating him by obtaining her social security number and phone number. Kujoe wasn't only expelled from the school, but he was found guilty of a 4th-degree offense, stalking, harassment, and sentenced to 18 months in prison. Toward the end of his sentence, Kujoe's visa was revoked and he was sent to a federal facility in Texas. Dr. Kenua, Alex's father, helped Kujoe find legal representation. After his release, Kujoe moved in with the Kinuas. Although Alex is stating that he doesn't know if Kujoe is violent, that's not quite true. He referenced Kujoe's case in the previous interview, and even went so far as to say that Kujoe talked to the Kinuas about it.
You know where Kujoe's at?
After he mentioned his case, because I remember several years ago, he had a charge. He mentioned something to my brother about the woman who got him in trouble, something like that.
Alex seems to be downplaying Kujoe's dark past, and it could be because he has an unsavory past of his own.
So, you yourself were caught up in a situation not too long ago at college where you were accused of an act of violence.
Right.
If I wasn't there, I don't know the circumstances behind it.
Can we just read it down real quick?
Mm-hmm. Sure, if you want to.
Well, I could be in a body bag right now. That's how I look at it. I stay with people with limited each other. That's our college experience and also our education in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to be in the mix of it. I couldn't move. I should move. I should. But because of that person and their behavior, which jeopardizes my safety, bringing people I know times and then pinpointing rumors on me, I'm not necessarily rumors create threats. So I did it for my own.
You stopped the threat.
I mean, definitely I don't. The only fact is that I went about it because I didn't go outside to look for him. He came to look for me. He came to our apartment. And he could have been armed, and he is armed sometimes.
So your perception is you stopped the threat. He was the threat, and you had to stop that threat. I think that's a fair assessment. Don't you? Okay.
Before Alex had returned home from college, right before Kujoe's disappearance, he spent a few days behind bars. Police spoke with Alex's roommate Devin Keys about Alex's strange behavior leading up to the incident.
Hello? This is Devin. Hey, sir, it's Detective Lane. So, like I was telling you before, I wanted to talk to you about Alex, and you were his roommate on a daily basis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long had you guys been living together?
We've been in the same dorm for 2 years, but that was my first year actually living in the same room with them.
Now, were you a friend of Alex, or you guys just lived together?
Yeah, I was a friend of his.
Okay. In the last couple of years, had his behavior changed at all?
His behavior started changing in, I'll say about December or January of this last year.
Okay. What kind of things did you see that made you think his behavior was changing?
Well, he just started acting different.
People could have been united. This is a ancient mistake with something man-made. Why? Why did they let that go? Ancient.
Did you ever see him have a skeleton hand? Not a real skeleton, but like a medical skeleton type of thing.
Yeah, he had one of those.
He had one of those. Now, when did he start carrying that around?
I'll say around March, maybe.
Did he ever do anything in his rooms that were strange or out of the ordinary?
He had weird videos that he used to watch, and then he had like chanting books or something like that.
Chanting books?
I call them chanting books because they're not like normal. Well, I don't want to say normal religious books, but something kind of like voodoo, I guess.
Voodoo kind of thing?
Yeah.
The videos you're speaking of, what kind of videos would they be?
War videos, like torture, stuff along that end.
Other people who knew Alex also noticed a change in his behavior. Alongside carrying a medical skeleton around, Alex started going by the nickname Mufasa. The latter fact became known when an RA had responded to a situation in which someone going by the name Mufasa had broken a window in an apartment building. But this wasn't the incident that resulted in Alex's time in jail.
The young man he assaulted down there at your dorm room, did him and that young man have a problem? Like, was there kind of tension between the two of them, or did it surprise you that he did that?
It surprised me because, like, just the other, a couple of days before it happened, like, they were just talking about regular stuff, and then that happened.
In an exclusive interview with Ewu, Joshua Caesar, the man that Alex attacked, talks about his close call with death.
I knew Kenua as an acquaintance. We both went to the same school together, Morgan State University.
Joshua said that he was meeting a friend after graduation and decided to wait for her at the apartment where Alex also happened to live.
And when I walked through that door, as soon as I crossed the threshold, I heard what I know would be God at this point now. Put your arm up. I felt something waving over me. And so I put my arm up, and underneath my arm, I could see a man standing there with a black sheet over his head. And I was knocked unconscious.
The man in the black sheet was none other than Alex Kenua. Alex had attacked Joshua with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire and chains.
I woke up in the back of the house.
Fortunately, Joshua's friends, Mac and Meriwether, were nearby to intervene before things took an even deadlier turn.
Mac opened the door. He says, "Stay in here. Don't go anywhere." I said, "What happened?" He said, "Stay here." Then he closed the door. About a few seconds later, I hear a bunch of rumbling, dum, 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 and commotion. I didn't know what was going on out there still to that time. Matt came back inside, and he said, "Come out." When I came out, there was blood all over the place. And I didn't realize at that time it was mine.
With no memory of the attack, Joshua had to ask his friends about what happened that day.
He said, Matt said, "We were playing the game when we heard a scream, a shriek. We ignored it." So Meriwether said, "Nope, that didn't sound right." And opened the door, and he saw Kenny was standing over top of me with a knife. There was a struggle and a fight over my body. That noise and commotion I said that I heard in the restroom that I was waiting in till Max said to come back out was them fighting off Kenua a second time from coming in to get back to me.
Mac and Meriwether bravely fought off Alex until he fled to a nearby wooded area. He was found by campus police shortly after and charged with assault and reckless endangerment. After paying a bond of $220,000, Alex's family brought him home on May 23rd, 2 days before Kujoe went missing.
Dang.
Joshua's injuries included a shoulder fracture and multiple skull fractures. He also lost sight in his left eye permanently.
That should have been like attempted murder, right?
Hell yeah.
What in the
He would have
hell?
left his ass in there.
Yeah.
He is crazy. Menace to society, all the above.
Fracture and multiple skull fractures. He also lost sight in his left eye permanently.
Oh, wow.
Joshua credits his survival to his friends that protected him from Alex and the campus police officers that kept him awake after losing so much blood. As horrific as the attack on Joshua was, it was far from the only incident involving Alex.
Yeah. I beat open your bed and I jerked off and I lost on. You got something to say, man? You can look at it on your bed. Hope you have a good night's sleep.
What the
DP on the freaks. Super freak, huh? You like them super freaks? So I got you one. Full over your bed.
Boy, he
playing
crazy.
Oh, yeah. Who's playing with you? Nobody's playing with you. Matter of fact, I don't have the respect to be called him no more. So this what can happen so that you keep doing that shit again, that's gonna keep to happen. Listen, next time shit will be here's what's gonna happen. See your clothes? Go look in your bed. Look, I'll let you get surprised. That's just me.
Devin also had some insight into this incident between Alex and a fellow Morgan State student.
Are you familiar with something when Alex maybe went into somebody's bedroom, did something on their bed? Did you hear that story?
Oh, yes, I heard that story.
Okay, who told you about that, Alex or somebody else?
He told me.
And what did he tell you?
He said that somebody disrespected him, so he disrespected them every time.
And did he tell you what he did?
He went to the guy's bedroom and on that bed.
Did he tell you how they disrespected him in the first place?
No, he wouldn't tell me that.
Okay. Do you think there really was an argument between him and that gentleman, or you think this is just something he was imagining?
Oh,
I would say it was something that he either imagined or he just took out of hand.
It wasn't just Alex's friends who had to deal with his baseless accusations.
And right now, I'm following somebody who Thought was watching over here getting a phone call.
What?
Not even him. See right there? What would make sense?
All the names are put on the board. Now, as it tells the story, and then I'll forward to the scarecrow as a chant. And then anybody that was picked up as unique the scarecrow is very close. You must each measure the face, deal with clothes. This is another longer play because people infected now. They infected the device that was going to get them in the dream sent to enough there. A very few is about it.
Based on his self-recorded videos and the accounts from those who knew him, it seems like Alex's aggression was ramping up during March, April, and May of 2012, before finally culminating in the terrifying attack on Joshua Caesar. All of these incidents involve Alex taking extreme actions based on perceptions that have no basis in reality. Realizing that this could be a possible motivation for Alex to have killed Kujoe, the detectives dive into trying to uncover the truth behind Kujoe's disappearance. Nothing can prepare them for what Alex eventually reveals.
The initial woman said that guy, you perceived him to be a threat. His mother. And you perceived him to be a threat. And then I asked you if Kujoe was a threat, and you initially like, nah, like I don't really know. Well, if he was involved in terrorist activities, if he was involved with bad people or bad things that were going on, and he's living at your parents' home, under their roof, with your siblings and yourself, how would you not say that he's not a threat?
Like Kujoe's case, as far as for him staying with our family, he stayed with our family before. He has done what he has to do, and that's when he got taken, arrested and all that, his behavior shifted.
But you were so vague about that.
No, what I mean is that his behavior shifted is as far as for how he went about his business. It's more so, people can't tell you much more whether he was much more involved with people or less more introverted.
Alex seems to be having difficulty explaining himself the more the detective engages with his logic. Perhaps it's growing harder for him to make denials. Alex then alleges something about Kujoe that's somehow even more shocking than anything else revealed so far.
When you start connecting the pieces together, to me, it made more sense that, he's trying to get himself back up on his feet. However, at the same time, he may not necessarily be doing that, He may have some other ulterior motives. And especially speaking to my mother, and we mentioned earlier that he's having troubles going to the basement to use the washer. And I spoke to him. That's the Kujoe put his hands on him. And that's when I knew that something was wrong. And then I just went ahead and just fixed it. I didn't know something, but something that happened. I don't think anything happened.
How do you feel about that?
I don't feel nothing.
It doesn't make you angry?
Anger is going to be too. Anger is something. Get wise.
So, couldn't be getting wise, stopping the threat?
Stopping the threat could be something.
The pain is coming, the pain is going, they couldn't believe it, but now it's flowing, they saw it, they got their mouths zipped up, cause they know when they up, it's gonna get zipped up and thrown across the cut disordered, the good disordered out the bodies, moving down it, but then now it's so distorted.
Listen, you are responsible for what happened to Kujoe, as far as his death goes. Now, why you committed that act? They caused that. That's what I need to understand.
I do know that he has been manipulated and taken advantage of my father's good heart and my family's kindness.
You're not going to stand for that. Is that fair?
Right. And on top of that, he also gives us signs, like I say, classifiers, terrorist behavior.
Well, I didn't know.
But I know how he acts and everything, because you look at my bookshelves and the type of books and material that I read, like with him, he sat directly next to my library, will have those type of books there. And then every time I notice, he would go through them and like just, he would look at me like, he would give me a certain look. He would give me a look like he doesn't want me to find something, he hides something. So every time I would come downstairs, he would rush to hide something. I'm like, what is he hiding? What is he doing? Whenever I went to my room, my things were moving around. So he's definitely my room.
Oh yeah.
He fool up.
Yeah, that boy.
You can tell he fool up.
Tell me what it was that put you over the top when you said, this is it.
That's Kujoe put his hands on. Thought about it, or dreamt about it.
So, was this something that you planned, or was it experiment when you confronted him?
I didn't confront him. I told him already that night.
Tell me. What did you say?
I spoke to him briefly, rearranged my side of the room. Immediately took all his shit to one corner, put all my stuff there, fixed up everything. And I just asked him some brief questions because he started working out and all that, trying to do his muscles and what else. I like I don't fight, especially people who come to my family. I do something else.
Tell me, Alex, tell me what you did.
I mean, this confession,
So how did you kill him?
I won't say I killed him.
I'm only asking you that, though.
So basically, I spoke to him. That was it.
And then what did you do?
After speaking to him,
Jail with a hatchet? Jail with a pipe?
You know.
Yeah, he got that little smirk.
Life is terrible. But it could be even more terrible. My family, I could be where my family.
With this proclamation, Alex has fully admitted that he believes he killed Kujoe in order to protect his family.
I know the truth. So again, you're a logical, you're a thought man, right? Who was there when you took his life? Just you and him? Because he can't talk.
Just as the detectives start to make progress, things take a turn for the bizarre.
I talk to dead people. Well, right now, I'm not interested in talking to anyone down. I'm only interested in one person, and that's Alex. That's my only interest.
Whether or not Alex genuinely believes that he can somehow communicate with the dead, the phrasing and tone of his retort, as well as the fact that he's bringing this up unprompted in a serious murder investigation, arguably betrays his intent to be defiant. He doesn't want to roll over just yet. Detectives have to once again do their best to get him on track.
To be clear, you see Kujoe as a threat to your family. There was a point in time where decisions made by you that this has got to stop. This is going to end right here. So there's two things I don't know. Is it something that was a spontaneous because of something that he did? Or is this something that you said, this is how I'm going to fix this problem?
It wasn't spontaneous. I'm looking at this as Kujoe, when he started doing the things he did, started moving from house to house, and I knew that something was up. And his personality, just based on his character analysis that I was conducting, I was like, something's about to go, and I need to visit my family. Period. He got it up. And I just played some music and went to work.
I know what you mean by you went to work.
Mama said, what do you mean by went to work?
You went to work.
But I need you to explain to me how you went to work.
I'll give you able to see it and tape recorder.
After hours of grueling investigation and interrogations, Alex is finally willing to give up the details of this crime. However, no one was prepared for the depths of his depravity. nor the stomach-churning reality of what happened to Kujoe. It seems the officers take Alex outside for a cigarette and continue recording the audio of his disturbing confession.
Where did Kujoe want to go? You're not gonna find him. Can you tell me? I can't know what you want. Okay, where is it? It's right on your nose. Not at the police station, I hope. Okay, where? Well, one is in my stomach, but is it your what? In your stomach?
Boy.
Like fast, like starving, like market, let's go. You will go eat food. You want to go eat food. You're wrong, man.
What part was that?
As startling as this admission is, Alex isn't done with the horrifying reveals.
When did that happen? Yesterday. The other body parts, are they, can you give me an idea where they are? Not good, I don't. You might find them. Did you put them in the rest of the body? Is it the rest of the body itself? You just cut out certain parts? So that's dissected. That's dissected. So you're just going to... What charges am I facing right now? I mean, I'm already facing 30 years. So, what charges am I facing?
Crazy.
What should you be facing? What you're telling me, you took his life, yes? Okay. So I'm asking. I know it was rhetorical, I shouldn't have said that. Did you take his life? I mean, he's not in existence. Okay. I could help him fake his death. Well, obviously, the murder charges. I mean, you're a smart guy. I mean, you know what they're basically going to be. Let me go say if you can tell me, are there pieces of Kujoe in or around your house? Excuse me.
You just chuckling. That's a goddamn demon for real.
Yes. Is it in the, how is it taken care of? Can you tell me any more of that? His head is, we have anybody at the house right now? Can you get on the phone? Sure.
Through the phone, Alex guides the officer to his gruesome leftovers.
Okay, go to the dining room. Okay, there's a big cabinet. I want a cabinet that has like glass shelves on it. You see the white shelves? Now go to the bottom, move the box of books over there. At the bottom of the cabinet, move the boxes and open one of the shelves. Do you see a bag of charcoal? Go ahead and open it. Do you see it? Okay. What is this inside the bag? What exactly? That's what we caught. That's the only part.
After recovering Kujoe's severed hands and head, the officers were set on retrieving the rest of his remains. Alex revealed that he disposed of it in the dumpster of a nearby church, and went so far as to brag that the chances of recovering it were slim to none. However, when officers investigated the dumpster for themselves, they discovered 2 duffel bags inside, infested with maggots. As they tried to remove one of the bags, it tore, and the officers were forced to watch in silent horror as Kujoe's torso slid out and hit the pavement.
Oh my god.
Before we were outside talking, Alex was telling me, I'm just gonna put the same report right on the table, okay, Alex? Sure. Alex, if you can, since Tom wasn't sitting here just a second ago, just run through that with what you're telling the other detective.
Alex begins eagerly recounting a story so disgusting and despicable, it far outshines everything the detectives have learned thus far. Alex no longer has anything to hide, and as a consequence, he finally discusses in detail what happened the night he slaughtered Kujoe.
Damn.
And it's more horrifying than anyone imagined.
It's that night, after everything took place, we didn't argue anything, but I did something. I'm not going to speak like cannibalism, more so about him being honest, and he knows about cannibals, and he said, He's gonna remember. He find out. So I asked him, is he ready to die?
Damn.
He's like, no, he's not ready to die. So, too bad he made the picture of that.
That's crazy.
Well, that night, I know he's into gospel and everything, so put some gospel music, and then he was sleeping.
Y'all don't like that.
She, once he had said that, and stuff about cannibalism and ready to die and stuff like
ready to
that,
die?
I would have been out.
Yeah, man, you gonna ask him that? You still did it.
He was sleeping. Okay, man. I stood over him. And,
Went to work.
Went to work with the took
damn. Chop it all up.
This one's work on his head. And hit him about twice. And after that, I let him breathe out. And then took his heart off. After I took his heart off, cut my knife, cut him off.
This complete lack of emotion is deeply disturbing.
Yes.
But then again, not quite as disturbing as his choice to play Kujoe's favorite music while butchering him. Was he trying to give Kujoe a final moment of peace before his execution? Or was he mocking his victim before sending him to his grave? Regardless, this sick preparation must have given Alex time to pause, to reconsider his actions, or even to selfishly consider that his next act would alter the course of his own life for good. But given that he chose to stand over Kujoe in these moments, it seems more likely that Alex enjoyed this part of the process as well. He then proceeded to swing the same long-handle axe he used to cut trees into Kujoe's face, then cut him up the way he would the animals he trapped in his backyard.
How did you get the parts outside?
This wall.
Did you chip up anything?
Wrapped him up in the back.
And took him where?
To the church.
Any particular reason behind the church? Was there any particular reason that you did that?
Honest about it.
There was an issue with your brother. Finally, some things tell me about that.
No, but he doesn't know, so.
Was smart enough. Like you were really smart.
Not that smart, but he doesn't know the circumstances behind it because sometimes his judgment calls him. He may not have seen because when I'm not around, he's the second, I would say the second in charge. And if he can't recognize the threats on his own family,
Threats on his own family.
What do you think should happen to you for this?
Put me in scenes now.
Are you insane?
No, man. However, the action, that didn't make look insane towards society. But basically what I do was an ancient word. I'm getting rid of skull.
And that's the way you look at Kujoe.
That's ancient justice.
Though Alex may be basking in his crime, he seems lucid and afraid of punishment enough to minimize his own sentence by recommending he be remanded to a psychiatric facility.
No.
Even with everything he's revealed so far, Alex still had one last sickening detail to share.
And again, I'm just trying to understand. This was totally symbolic on your part. You're cooking its head and hands. You removed his hands from his body so that they could not touch anyone anymore. I guess his head disgusted you. And you wanted to deform the head, cut away the hands, eat some of them, and make his heart.
That's the only part of it. I didn't eat his head. I tasted some of it.
That sounds so crazy.
Yeah.
Barbecue sauce.
Did you use some barbecue sauce?
It's spice, whole baked spice, whole baked sea salt.
This man talking like he doing like a real meal type.
Like chicken or some beef or something. Oh
steak,
my God.
chops, anything.
Right.
Damn, to me season up a whole bay and all.
And he just sounds so regular. Like he don't got no soul at all.
Yeah, soulless. He
Yeah.
tasted a little bit of his head.
Oh God.
Come on, man.
Just like slow bass, right? Slow bass, and six all like that.
How do you feel one?
Justice is that's
As sickening as this reveal is, it also could potentially answer one of the remaining questions. The police brought cadaver dogs to the Kinua home, and they did not indicate that there were any human remains. And yet, Alex had butchered and eaten parts of Kujoe in the home, and he had a blood-covered mattress in his room. The reason the dogs didn't pick up on the scent could be due to the dog's training and experience, as well as the training and expertise of the handler. If a dog is not well trained, or if the dog is being used in a situation for which it is not trained, such as lie detection versus human remains detection, the dog is likely to fail. It's also important to note that by cooking and seasoning the body parts, much of the scent of the remains was destroyed. The dogs look for things like skin cells, and cooking would destroy them, potentially throwing off the dog's ability to detect the remains. However, alone, spices and cooking will not prevent a properly trained dog and handler team from finding human remains. After nearly 6 hours total of interrogation, detectives may just now be meeting the real Alex Kinua.
This is we have done thousands of times, millions of times. I mean, this body is just temporary. It's a body that I can lose his body. I can't afford to lose my family's body, so
It's a beautiful day outside. It's a very beautiful day. For me here, no matter what the mission, it's always coming back, because always the mission is first. That's tough. Skulls are getting cracked. No. Skulls are getting extracted. Their brains are getting extracted. You know what happens when skulls get extracted? Their brains get sucked out their noses. I'm gone. Please believe.
What?
I'm gone. Please believe. The whole.
Following his confession, Alexander Kinua was charged with first-degree murder and weapon carrying. Prior to a trial, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and in August of 2013, he pleaded guilty but not criminally responsible. He was then indefinitely remanded to a state psychiatric facility. Though he was deemed unfit to stand trial, it is possible that he could be deemed competent in the future. Alex also pleaded guilty but not criminally responsible for the assault of Joshua Caesar.
Boy.
Ooh.
Damn. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
The way he's talking about seasoning the food up and,
sea salt and barbecue sauce and the whole bit. Oh.
Like you said, he just so calm, y'all. Like he just, because he studied it.
Right.
He knew what to do the whole time, so.
That's like, he studied that, so like, is he schizophrenic for real? I mean, but they did diagnose him, so.
Yeah.
So.
That was crazy, man. And guess what? There's plenty of other people out here just like him.
Just like him. You
just like
never
him.
know.
At your jobs and all, you walking by him, talking to him, maybe having lunch with him, and just being real. And people, you don't even know how some people act.
Cannibalism is real.
Isn't that legal?
Yeah, I know it's off topic, but I saw on TikTok that somebody said that in every state that cannibalism is legal except Idaho, I think.
I never heard
except
of that.
For one state, Idaho. So I don't know, man. Whew, boy, you got some sick, twisted people out here. And, I mean, I hope. Oh, I don't want to say hopefully he getting help, but
something.
I'm on more praying for the guy that died. You know, his family, and hope they're doing fine. And
boy,
I know it happened a long time ago, but you know, some people can still suffer from that. Yeah. But great, and I hope his family doing good too, because I know that had to have been hard for them. Like they want to find out his son. or their brother did something like that, I mean, that had to have been hard for them too. Cause
Crazy
like,
hard to believe, man.
I wouldn't even know what to do if I had a family member, a sister, brother, mama, daddy, or auntie, cousin that I'm close with that doing that stuff, and I find out about it. And, oh,
You can't believe
you
it.
don't want to know what to think or what to do or what to say. Yeah.
What's y'all thoughts, fam? What's y'all thoughts, Kickback? This was a crazy
Definitely.
video, man. Crazy story, crazy real life, whatever. Y'all let us know how y'all feel below. What other videos y'all want to see, drop them down below. Man, we all gonna watch them together as always. Check out the rest of the videos, man. We catch you on the next one.
Catch y'all next one.